We are fast approaching the golf season. You're probably starting to play more golf and you're probably starting to play more competitive golf. So let's really focus on improving your score. I'm going to share with you 5 short game tips that you can implement the very next time you play, which are going to guarantee to keep those scores low and get you sharper around the greens. First tip, around chipping. You can be internal or external. This point in the season, you need to be more external, which is not thinking technique. So with any luck, over the winter, you've done some work on your short game. You might have had some lessons, you might have worked on your technique, but don't get too internal. This is the time to think about your target. So what do I mean by internal, external? Internal will be thinking about what I'm doing, thinking about maybe my setup, maybe I've been told to move the club back a little bit differently, maybe I've been told to work on my release. That's all internal. That's fine for the short game area, the practice area. But we're out on the course, we need to get external. So what I want you to think a little bit more about this time of year is the shot that you're hitting. I've taken an 8 iron, I'm going to play a low chip and run. So I need to first picture the shot. Where do I want this ball to land? What's the break going to be? So I really want to get that shot clear in my mind. And then when I take my setup inside the ball and I take my practice swings, I want to be staring at the target, glancing at the ball. I see so many golfers over the ball where they're obsessed with technique, thinking about what they've done over the winter, and what can often happen is they can technically play a good chip, but the distance control is so poor because they weren't really taking in the shot. So when I play this, I'm going to be thinking about my target. So where's that ball landing? It's on the green, I can see that ball flight, I'm staring at the target. I'm glancing at the ball, all my focus is out on what I want that ball to do. I'm seeing the shot, I'm feeling the shot, and then when I walk in, I'm trying to hit the shot that I've pictured. That should break off the right, and pretty good from where I was. So becoming more external is going to help you with your touch and your feel. It's going to help you get up and down more often. Second tip is going to help you with your putting, specifically the putts that have significant amounts of break on them. Very often golfers underread breaking putts. Now this comes in 2 sections. Number 1 is to first of all think about entry points. So what do we mean by entry point? Well, this putt that I've got here is quite a bit of swing off the left-hand side. So when I look at the hole, this would appear to be the entry point. But because it's a breaking putt, that isn't the entry point. We have to think of this as like a clock face. Imagine if 12 o'clock was here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 6, and 9. Because this is a breaking putt, the ball is going to be coming in from sort of around about this angle here. So the first thing I want to do is decide on the entry point and give that a number based on that clock face. That is probably between 7 and 8 on that clock face. What that does is it really gives me a good visual as to what the ball is going to do in the last few feet of the putt and actually what the new front of the hole is. Where my grip is there is the new front of the hole. That's the first thing I've got to establish. So we now know how that ball is going to enter the hole. What we then need to do is use something on the golf ball. I really believe that for the majority of golfers, using a line on the board is really beneficial. Now I'm using the TP5 stripe, which makes it really, really easy. So what I can do now is visualize that last kind of few feet of the hole, that ball going in at 7 o'clock. I can then work it back from that and really visualize the whole journey of my ball from where it is to hopefully dropping in the hole. What I then need to do is place that line, that stripe, exactly on my start line. So now I've got 2 things which are really making this putt much easier. I've got my start line and I've got my visual that it's going to go in. Once I've got those 2 things, this putt is going to become much, much simpler. When I step back here, I've got the line. If I'm happy with that, all I have to do now is as I'm walking in, think pace, pace, pace. The line is done, it's decided. I can't change my mind now. Any negativity, step back. So my job now is to say, can I simply hit this ball through the stripe on the ball with the right pace? Is it going to go in? It didn't. But I tell you what, from here, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I slightly underrated, but the pace was perfect. So entry point, line on the ball is going to make those breaking putts far, far easier. Number 3, let's change your mindset. Let's try and hole the chip shots that are holdable. I'm just off the green, literally 2 paces. The flag is really close. Yes, up and down will be okay. Well, let's see if we can start to hold these. And to do that, I'm going to teach you the chip putt. So club choice is going to depend a little bit on the situation, but I've got pitching wedge for this. I want the ball to stay relatively low and roll on the green. So that's the first thing. Now, we call this a chip putt. The putt part is the grip. I'm going to hold this like I would my putter. That's the reverse overlap grip for me. So the index finger on my lead hand sits over the fingers on my trail hand, and the club runs a lot more through the lifeline. So basically hold this like you would your putter. Then you're going to stand to this like you would your putter. So in my mind, I want to picture this pitching wedge as my putter. So I'm going to be standing nice and close. I'm going to have my feet just a little bit less than shoulder width apart. Ball is going to go into the middle, and you can see that that would pretty much look like my putting setup. The only difference would be I'm going to lean and put what I feel is probably 60 to 70% of weight on my lead side, which gives me a little bit of shaft lean. So that's my setup, and then from there, what do? I literally make what to me feels like a putting stroke. There's no wrists. I'm landing the club on the ground where the ball is, and the ball should pop into the air, land, roll out. Might not go in, but it's a pretty safe option. Okay, didn't go in, but it's a tap in. I'm going to get up and down most times doing that. Tip number 4 is going to help you with your pitching, specifically your strike. You look at the shot I'm faced with here. Most golfers would not relish this. It's a tricky distance, bit of a slope on the green, and this kind of water encroaching on the left-hand side. When we see awkward shots, we know that strike is so important. If I don't strike this ball well, I could be over the green, I could be in the water, so we know strike is important. But what I want you to do is something which is often counterintuitive. It's the opposite to what many golfers tell me they're trying to do. Very often a golfer tells me they're trying to stay down, they're not trying to look up too soon. The best players in the world, when they're pitching around the greens, through impact, are actually turning and pushing up away from the ground. They're getting taller. The last thing they're doing is trying to stay down with the ball. Because if you stay down with the ball, you stop your body rotation, arms have got nowhere to go. Might not be quite as extreme as that, but you're really going to struggle with strike. So what I'd love you to do, wait on the lead side, ball goes towards the back of the stance, and then through impact, you're going to be turning your body to face the target, but also you're going to be getting taller. I'm turning and pushing away from the ground. I say, it sounds a bit counterintuitive, but try it, and you're going to suddenly see how the strike is much, much better. Now, I need to go way out to the right here because there's a significant amount of swing and break on this green. So weight forward, ball back, and I'm going to push away from the ground. Maybe a touch short, but the strike was good, the trajectory was good. I've got a putt, I was nowhere near the water. So on your pitch shots, weight forward, ball back, rotate and push away from the ground. Counterintuitive, but it's really going to help you with the strike. And finally, the simplest bunker technique you could ever wish for. This is brilliant. This works so, so well. There's a circle around my ball. I've just put that circle there. And what I really want you to do when you're in the bunkers is get yourself set up, ball forward, weight forward, get the face open a little bit before you take your grip. And then the concept here is to take the sand that's inside that circle and simply put it on the green. So take the sand from the bunker, put it on the green. I'm not thinking the ball at all, I'm thinking about the sand. Now what this is going to do is it's going to do 2 things. It's going to change the direction of your swing, and it's going to influence the speed of your swing. In terms of the speed, if I've got to put the sand on the green, I realise that that wouldn't be enough speed. So it's going to naturally help me establish the speed that I need to get this ball out. That's the first thing. The second thing it does, it helps the direction of my swing. And when I say direction, I don't mean sort of out to in or in to out, I mean towards the flag. Lots of golfers in the bunker hit into the sand. You can see how the sand didn't get on the green. I don't want you to into the sand, I want you to hit through the sand, so you're splashing the sand out onto the green. So if I can set up with ball forward, weight forward, visualize the sand that's around the ball and simply splash that sand on the green, guess what the ball's going to do? The ball's going to come out on that cushion of sand, and I'm going to have, well, I was going to say 2 feet, it's probably rolled on a little bit there, but that was really simple because my concept was really clear And it was really simple. It wasn't complex swing thought. It was simply, can I take the sand, move it from the bunker to the green, the sand will come out, but the ball will come out as well.